how to navigate through one of your hardest seasons in life thus far. Because we never know what the rest of our life looks like. But we know in the present, maybe this is the hardest thing you've ever dealt with. And I've had a couple of experiences where at one point I thought this has been the hardest thing that I've ever gone through in life. And then you keep on living. And then there's a new situation where now this thing is the hardest thing you ever experienced in life. And what I want to talk about is getting through those times. Because if you're still breathing, then you can get through that time, that season. And without assuming to know what your most difficult experience is, I think there's some things that are just fundamental when we go through some difficult times. I think number one is if you have any type of faith, that's the time that you're going to really commune with your Creator. For me, God created me, and I serve His Son, Jesus Christ. And so those are the times when I have real conversations, and I say exactly what I'm feeling, and I say what I'm scared of, and I say what I would like to happen. And it's kind of like, you can put out what you would like to happen. That's not necessarily what's going to happen, but sometimes speaking those desires, it helps you just get your thoughts out, kind of help you balance out, like what this is or what you're going through is difficult. It's hard. Sometimes pretending like something's not difficult and that something is not hard is doing a disservice to your mental health. So I think it's important to acknowledge that this is a difficult time. This is maybe one of the hardest things you've ever dealt with. Please help me, guide me, draw people into my life that can uplift me, that can encourage me, show me how I can help someone else. Because I think we go through things not for ourselves all the time. There's things that happen to us because maybe we didn't use the best judgment. But then I think there's just things that we go through in life because we need to grow through an experience to help someone else. And you might be thinking, I don't want to help anybody else. I just don't want to be going through this. And I think changing our outlook on situations helps us go through them better. We can go through it better when we change our perspective, our outlook. But yeah, back into the midst of it. In the midst of it, that's where I would start. I would start with acknowledging the one who created me, and really releasing my strong will, because thinking the hardest thing in your life away, thinking it away is not going to make it go away. That's not going to make it go away. So wishing it away, acting as if it's not reality, sleeping it away, you're like, I'm just going to go to sleep. That doesn't make it go away. It's there. And sometimes you just have to face it and acknowledge it. And I think with going in it with that mindset, acknowledging that this is really a situation that I'm in right now, and I don't like it. I wish it was like X, Y, and Z instead of A, B, C, which is what it is. But help me, you know. And for those that you trust around you, you can talk with them. Go ahead. No, you're fine. For those that are around you that you trust, you can talk with them. But I think acknowledging that you're in a difficult situation, acknowledging the emotions, and expressing how you would want it to be, I think that's a really important, starting point. So, 1 second. So yeah, like I mentioned, that is a really good starting point. And then also too, I don't know if you've ever seen someone share an experience they went through, and now they're like coaching people and mentoring people and stuff like that. So it's almost like go through it as if you knew that you were going to teach someone how to go through that. Does that make sense? Like, let's say at some kind of ailment, maybe you hurt your arm or something like that, right? So it's like, go through it like, okay, you got your doctor's appointments, okay, you're following the instructions maybe from your physical therapist. If they're telling you to get X amount of rest per day, or make sure the arm is immobile for X amount of hours a day, come to your appointments. Let's see, just trying to think of whatever regimen goes along with that. But so when you're going through that, because the end result is perfectly fine arm, right? You already know that's the end result. It's going to be perfectly fine. Okay, so now I just have to go through and do my physical therapy, go to my appointments, put the cast on, or do any type of treatment that I need to do for the skin that's when it comes out of the cast. It's just whatever you know you need to do to get a perfectly healed arm in the end, right? And then that you're going to be now teaching people, okay, when X, Y, and Z happens to your arm, this is how you go through it, and this is the end result. It's like you are showing a model, a perfect model of how to whatever it is. So I think with that mindset, it can help you battle discouragement, because discouragement, anxiety, worry, those things don't help you, right? So when you are dealing with those things, that's usually where our journey in a season can be halted. That's usually when the negativity, possibly depression, right? All these things can now come to the surface because there's been nothing combating them. And that's why I'm saying your mindset through any situation, like, that's the key. So of course, you are going to lean on your creator. You're going to acknowledge what you feel. You're going to acknowledge what the situation is. And then 3, you're going to be a role model to yourself for the time being. There might come a time where you're a role model to somebody else, but in the midst of it, you're a role model to yourself about how to go through this situation the best way, about how to reach the desired outcome, whatever that may be. Being very clear what you want. Like I mentioned, that wish list, that is nice. We put out a wish list about everything. We create plans. I'm a planner. We create plans, and it's good to have that clarity, but just knowing that things don't always go the way you planned, but this is what you'd like. Being able to say, this is what I'd like. I'd like for it to go like this. And it's like, okay, that's nice. That's nice you want it to go like that. And if it does, I celebrate with you. That is wonderful that it went the way you wanted it to go. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. It's not the end. And you can take a step today. You can take a step tomorrow. In the midst of the day, you might have to sit down. You might have to cry. You might have to have some alone time. You might have to go for a drive. You might have to do those things. And hopefully those around you can respect you enough for those requests that you make when you need those things. Anyways, I hope this was helpful. I hope this season that you're in, I hope it's as brief as it can be. I really do. I hope it's as brief as it can be, and that you become something that somebody else can draw inspiration from, so that whatever you went through, for however short or however long, it can help someone else. It can help you, but also that it can help someone else. So I hope you got something from today, and I look forward to our next chat. Let me know some things down in the comments, and I'm sure others can comment as well and reply and heart your comment if you want to share anything that you feel comfortable sharing. But until next time, bye.